YSMN. I'm here today with another video, probably a part two from what we did yesterday, yesterday evening's live chat premiere. Again, this is recorded, however the chat is live, so welcome. If you're a new subscriber, welcome, okay? I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. To recap for new subscribers and old alike, this is like a part, I guess I'll call it a part three, because I've been doing various videos over the past few days about my trail walks at Piney Run Park, excuse me, and the hybrids or Nephilim beings that I'm seeing there. I will present more of those pictures today. Yesterday's study, we did a lot on exposing Freemasonry, and I showed you this book, 33 Degrees of Deception, okay, by Tom McKenney. So we did that. So I'm going to be delving into more of the Order of the Eastern Star today. Yesterday we delved into Freemasonry for men. Today we're going to delve more into the women's version of Freemasonry, which is the Order of the Eastern Star, or OES, okay, for short. We'll also, like I said, I'll be sharing some pictures with you that Brother Mike requested that I share again, actually, during yesterday's live chat. We believe, Brother Michael and I, Fox Carpentras, and even I think CJ, believe that what was standing maybe 2 feet behind me was what people think is a dog man. Now, I know that sounds crazy. This all started, I'd say, last winter. I was at Piney Run Park taking a trail walk, and there was snow on the ground. And in the snow, I first thought it looked like bear tracks. Now, maybe it does. I have pictures, I believe, that I can show you. And then here, 2 or 3 days ago, when I'm filming a trail walk, I'm going to show you, I believe, 3 different pictures that Brother Michael sent me of what appears to be a dog man. Now, I used to scoff at dog men. 2 years ago, I began to do research on modern hybrids and Nephilim, Squatches, like in the woods. And boy, every time I go out there, I capture something anomalous, every time. So when I watch like this Expedition Bigfoot, it literally makes me think they have all this modern equipment, infrared and everything, and yet barely manage to catch anything. Yet I go out there with a selfie stick with my cell phone, and every time I go out there, guys, there's something on camera that's clear. So when I think about Expedition Bigfoot, okay, it's an entertaining show, but when I think about how they barely find anything, it seems, but yet I can go out there and take these trail walks. I'm just a normal, everyday person, and something anomalous shows up on my phone. I mean, almost every time. So what I've shown you over the last 2 or 3 videos is what has been seen by myself and other subscribers. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a recap for you because Brother Michael and I believe a couple other subscribers during yesterday's live chat, I believe Jen was one of them, asked me if I could show that dogman picture again. So I'm going to be doing that. But before we delve into the Order of the Eastern Star today, and I show you pictures from that and explain a little bit of that for you, and get into showing some of the anomalies I have found on my trail walk, I had a subscriber named Amanda write me yesterday in the comment section, and again she emailed me, as you can see here. She sent me anomalies at the beach and on the trail at a park. So she sent me several pictures that I want to show you. She found what she considered to be hybrid or Nephilim, or some people call them Sasquatch, anomalies, okay, where she lives. So, and I feel honored that this subscriber trusted me with this information, because she said she usually will only open up to someone who's a close friend. So I really thank you for the honor. If you're listening to this, Sister Amanda, thank you. So what I'm going to do first of all, before I delve into any of the other subjects we're going to cover today, I would like to share with you Sister Amanda's pictures that she sent to me yesterday evening, okay? So let's start with this one here. Again, anomalies that she found at the beach and on a trail at a park that she was at, okay? So let's start. A lot of them are structures, which could be Nephilim or hybrid structures that she found that were very unusual. So let's start off with this. All right. Okay, she told me in the explanation in her email, she gave me permission to show you her email and all these pictures. So I'm going to start off with this first. However, she does give explanations, written explanations, for what she believes we could be looking at. Okay, so do you notice this perfectly round circumference here? And there looks to be black marks, like almost like it's a spinning wheel. Okay, if you notice here. And of course over here she believes this is a footprint, like this, there's toes up here, And it's very deep. You know, notice how dark this is because the foot, I think, dug deep into the ground or deep into the sand. So she has a picture of her foot up against this footprint right here. So that's anomalous. But what also is anomalous is the fact that this is a perfectly round circle. Okay, it looks like it measures equally across and, you know, sideways. But what I noticed and what she noticed as well were these markings right here all the way around the circle. They look like indentations or marks around the circle. Now, in the email that she sent me, she said, could that be a portal? Could that have been a portal and this the foot of a Sasquatch or a hybrid standing next to a portal? And she wondered if these dark marks around this perfect circle were literal like burn marks or fire marks or some kind of marks that were left behind because a portal opened up. Now, this is what Sister Amanda suggested to me in her email. So I'll leave you, the viewer, to decide what you think about that. However, thank you, Sister Amanda. She sent me more pictures. I appreciate when people take me up on the offer to send me images. Okay, so I appreciate that. So here is her foot right next to, okay, up here would be the toes. Like here's a toe here, and there's more toes up here. But if you notice the ground around this supposed, I'm going to say supposed because maybe it is a human foot, but I think it looks larger than a human foot. It looks darker because it's a deeper footprint, in my opinion, and it looks deeper. But this is where the circle starts over here. This she said might have been a portal, and here's her foot, and then here is the foot here. Here are the toes up here. Now this is a big. This looks like a huge toe right here, maybe a big toe. I'm not sure. Down this way, I'm not sure, but right through here, this looks like a heel of some kind that was deeply dug into this dirt. Okay, so I'll get a little bit closer for you so you can look. So what do you guys think? See, I can make out more of the toes now up top here than I could before. Let's see what you think. And there's her foot next to it. And of course, what she describes as a portal is over here off to her right. Okay, so let me get back to this first picture again, and we'll blow that up for you. So thank you again, Sister Amanda, for doing this. So let's look this way. This is what's interesting is everything around this portal, this perfect circle, looks light colored to me. And here you've got this one footprint, just one footprint. So again, all right, this just came to mind. If this was a human footprint, why only one footprint here? Why not be several walking off past this round circle here? Why is there only one footprint? Now, some people speculate, and I've read this online, where there's only one footprint, where people believe that Sasquatch or hybrids or Nephilim are, is because they have supernatural abilities where they can cloak or disappear or go into a different dimension. And sometimes there will be, my friend Christine has had this happen in the snow in her backyard, where there were just like 3 or 4 footprints and all of a sudden they disappear. All right, I've read this from many different people that have had encounters with these beings, saying that there was 2 or 3 steps and they just disappeared, and they were too large to be human steps or human feet. So whatever this made this was, look at how deeply this is into the ground compared to this cracked the ground here. Look at this now. If you can see the depth here more. Okay, I'm just looking at this footprint where there appears to be toes up here. All right. She said she would have gone back to set a cast to cast this footprint or done other investigative work, but she said after taking these pictures, she went back, I think it was the following day, and everything was gone. The footprint was gone, the circle was gone, okay? But my question to anybody is, I know I myself, or even maybe a man that weighs 150, 200 pounds, could step into the sand and quite possibly not have it be this deep. I mean, I'm looking at the depth right here. If I had a ruler, this is probably 2 inches deep, like pressed into the sand, the rocky sand. She said this was at a beach area, or a trail. I'm sorry, a trail area. And but look at how deep the impression is, and why is there only one footprint? So that would be my question. That would make this more plausible to me to be a hybrid or a squatch, is because the fact there's only one footprint here, and it's this deep into the ground. All right, so let's see if I can't go any closer than that. I wanted to show you the depth of this footprint, how dark it is, the possible outline of toes up here. And it could have been that it was stepping in this direction, so maybe that's why I do see toes up here, but they may not be as defined as the heel, because what if it was like stepping and it moved his foot a little bit and dragged slightly, and that's why we have what looks like drag marks up here. But, again, only one footprint. Why not 2, 3, or 4 trailing off, like trailing off in the opposite direction, or, like trailing off this way? Why does there only appear to be one? So as I blow back out again, I don't see any other footprints around this. Okay, I see one footprint here larger than Sister Amanda's foot, and maybe 2 inches into the ground, alongside this weird looking circle that's a perfect circle, perfect circumference it seems like to me, with these dark edges next to it. She said they almost look like something like flame marks or something supernatural that had opened up a portal possibly. So what she's told me in her email, she believes this could be a Sasquatch footprint, a Nephilim footprint, with a portal right here. And these could be scorch marks where the portal opened up. Now, these were her words to me, okay? So my commentary is this. Again, why would somebody be on a trail at a park and perfectly measure out a round circle this large, okay? Leave markings on the side that we don't even know what they stand for, and only one footprint. I mean, if I was walking this trail, you would most likely see my footprints trailing off, like trailing away. But we don't see any footprints leading up to this circle, and no other footprints leading away from the circle. So that's my commentary as I look at this picture, that if I were an investigative reporter, I'd say, okay, that's interesting. There's no other footprints around it, leading up to it, or leading away from it. And it looks to me, to be extremely deep. So let's go back over here again. Excuse me. If I look, this is why I wanted to show you a close-up of this, because I blew it up yesterday myself after Sister Amanda sent this to me. And it looks to me like if I'm looking at the side walls here of where the heel mark is put, it looks to be maybe 2 inches down to the dirt, to me. Maybe I'm wrong. But what do you think? So this is courtesy of Sister Amanda. She's a subscriber on this channel. And she took me up on sending me her evidence. And that's what I wanted to say to all of you that are listening. If you've had experiences with anomalies, please feel free to send them here. You are safe here. Nobody's going to scoff at you, laugh at you, insult you, because I myself have had experiences, okay? As a matter of fact, if you look at my YouTube channel, I've proven that. Also, the people that send me images, like Brother Mike, he's had years worth of experiences with these beings, these Nephilim. So, I've only had about 2 years experience with this, but Brother Michael has had many years, okay? And I don't think he's happy about that. So, but how could he be? I mean, sometimes when we're just minding our business and taking a walk through a park or going out into our backyard, when we see things that are anomalous, it's disturbing. So, I myself have had, big staffs driven into my ground. It's happened to me like 3 times already. I've taken pictures of it, done videos of it. My friend Christine in the mountains of Pennsylvania in the middle of winter with snow on the ground and frozen ground, frozen earth, has had huge trees that were like 10 feet tall and this big around driven into her ground. And I've shown pictures of that too in other videos, okay? So, who would come in the middle of the night with a frozen snow-covered ground and drive a tree into the ground, okay, that stands like 10 feet tall, okay? I hope I have pictures I can show you of that. I think I do. But getting back to Amanda's evidence, and I got plenty here more to show you. Only one footprint, no others around it, leading up to it or away. Perfectly round circumference here. And what are these markings on the side? That does look anomalous to me. So if I were to, gauge this as being an authentic Nephilim anomaly, I would say it's probably a 99.9% chance that it would be anomalous. So if I saw this in my backyard, I would definitely say, okay, I know what's been here. But that's just me. Like every morning, I'll admit to you guys, I go out into my property and I check the property for anomalies. Especially after I've interviewed someone or if I've done videos on these Nephilim beings or taken trail walks, I always look at my property. And I think I took you guys on a walk with me over the weekend, a few days ago. to examine my property for anything anomalous. Okay, so you can backtrack and look at that. I think I have it titled as that. Looking for anomalies in YSMN's yard or my property. So you can backtrack and watch that video. But I do sometimes go out with my phone and check for anomalies in my own backyard simply because I expose them. Scott Carpenter had a very interesting saying. I agree with him on this, where he said he believes that they know that you know. Okay, now I'm going to zero in on this. Scott Carpenter used to say that they know that you know. And I really do think so, because, there's been too many things seen on my films at Piney Run Park that they must know that I know that they live there, okay? And I do think, I've had other subscribers email me, tell me in the comment section, I agree with them, that these could be the beasts of the earth in the book of Revelation that are unleashed on the world. Because remember, Jesus said that it wouldn't just, yes, there would be signs in the sun, moon, and stars, but what did he say would cause men's hearts to fail them for fear? He said those things which are coming on the earth will cause men's hearts to fail them for fear. Could it be, like Revelation says, that these beasts of the earth that are unleashed are these hybrid Nephilim mixed seed offspring? Okay, that's my question to you. Could it be? I think it's plausible. I do. So anyway, look how deep, I'm zeroing in again to show you Sister Amanda's foot compared to the depth of this footprint. Now look, her footprint, she's standing here right next to it. Is she leaving an indentation or an imprint like this? I mean, the depth is, she's not leaving a 2-inch deep footprint. So that right there gets my attention. She's standing on the ground just like this being would have been, only she's still staying on the surface, okay? Not leaving any anomalous, markings around her, just a normal foot here, standing on the ground. And she said this, I believe this was not on the beach, but a trail. But if you look at the depth again, what human foot, unless you weigh 300 or 400 or 500 pounds and you're obese, okay, no offense intended if somebody is, I'm just saying, you'd have to weigh, in my opinion, to leave like a 1.5 to 2-inch indentation into the ground like this. In my opinion, you'd have to weigh in the hundreds. I mean, you'd have to be like maybe 300 or 400 pounds, if not more, to press down into the ground that deeply. So thank you. Excuse me again, I brought my water with me. But thank you again, Sister Amanda, for sharing these. Let's get on to some other pictures that this subscriber has sent me. Here's another one. Okay. Now, she wrote this, she outlined this where the portal was, and of course the footprint will be right here. But she overlaid this with something interesting, okay? She said, was something dragged into a portal. Now, if you notice, there's a dark, if you look under this white line, or right next to it, that she drew, most likely on her phone, outlining this for us, you can see where there's like a dark drag mark. So it does make me wonder, could it be that something was dragged here into a portal? Like, again, that's conjecture on my part, on Sister Amanda's part. But she wrote this for us here so we could look at this with something dragged into a portal. So let's look how deep. Okay, I like to vet things, guys, and get investigative. Okay, I don't just take things at face value. I like to investigate. So let's look at this line here. Look how it's leaving a dark indented path here, just like this dark footprint was left over here. Now, the jagged edges are being obscured by the white line, which is fine because I showed you the picture before with the jagged edges and the indented footprint right here. But why is this so indented and dark all the way down through here? And it starts, I guess, back this way. And, Sister Amanda wrote me saying, was something dragged into a portal here? So let's, again, look at the depth of this drag mark. Here's where the footprint was. Okay, so you can't see everything because he drew the white line here, but here's the back of the heel, the foot mark. I don't see any other footprints going this way. Over here, leading up to it. All I see is a line here. It looks intriguing. It's convincing, that's for sure. But I see an indented drag mark here, or a line here, that it does seem to show some depth into the dirt or the rocky soil. Definitely not dirt, rocky soil. So let's go back out again. So thank you. This is from, again, subscriber Amanda. If you're just joining us in this live chat, a subscriber named, excuse me, Amanda, she sent me images that she found were anomalous where she lives. She gave me permission to share them and even share her email. So, if you send me something as a subscriber and you do not want your name or information to be given out, I can arrange for that, okay? I can arrange to keep you completely anonymous if you want to share anything, all right? So, but Sister Amanda gave me permission to share this, so I wanted to do that, all right? So let's go on to some other photos. Again, this line here looks like it's indented, just like the footprint I showed you. Okay, right here next to Sister Amanda's foot. I'm trying to recap a little bit of what Sister Amanda is showing us, because there could be people that are just now joining the chat, okay? We are going to go over Order of the Eastern Star, which is the woman's version of Freemasonry today. And I'm going to show you by request, okay, because this was requested of me during last night's live chat, if I would show images again of the anomalies I found in my films, especially one that looks like, and I know you may laugh at this, but looks like a dog man. I never used to believe in that until I actually saw one standing right behind me that looked exactly like, I'll show you Scott Carpenter's image of the dog man he captured. Scott Carpenter, for those of you unfamiliar, he was a Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Nephilim researcher. He did a lot more research than I did, although I have 2 years experience. He had years and years of experience. And Scott Carpenter wrote a couple books, but this one I'm going to show you here is The Nephilim Among Us by Scott Carpenter. Okay, let me see if I can, there you go. And what I captured behind me in a trail walk looked exactly like this right here. Like right there, if you can see that. This thing that was captured behind me looked like this. It had big white eyes like this, with a dark pupil, just like this. And it had a snout that looked like this, I guess a muzzle. This thing, okay, is a real picture that Scott Carpenter took, okay, watching him from behind foliage, and this is exactly the face that I saw looking at me on my trail walk. So, per request, okay, subscribers asked if I would show that again today, so I'm going to do my best to bring that up and show you. But getting back to it, all right, Scott Carpenter dealt with these beings. He has a YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. He was also a Christian. He went home to be with the Lord, I guess about 1.5 years ago now, and I really miss him, because when all these experiences started happening to me, Scott Carpenter's channel, as a Christian man, was one that I turned to for guidance and for help. As a matter of fact, I emailed Scott Carpenter a couple of times a couple of years ago, telling him about the experiences I had in the mountains of Pennsylvania, about what was going on in my own backyard, my own property, and at Piney Run Park. And he emailed me back. He didn't ignore me and actually told me, yep, I think what you got there is a lot of anomalies and a lot of true pictures that you're picking up. And this came right out of the mouth of Scott Carpenter. I'll see if I can find the emails that Scott sent me and share them with you, okay? But for now, if you're just joining us, again, we're going to go over the Eastern Star and all these other anomalous photos that Sister Amanda, a subscriber to this channel, sent to me last night. So again, we've got an indentation here, which I'm showing you, that looks to be 1.5 inches, at least 1.5 inches deep or 2 inches deep. Something very heavy made this mark. And here's her foot next to it. So, and these could be possible toe marks up here, up top here. And if you look closely, here's where that drag mark, or what she called a drag mark, ends. It kind of comes up this way. So again, let me show you this picture from Sister Amanda. This, for those of you who are just joining, this is something that she called a portal, or possible portal, with the Nephilim footprint, the indented footprint here. And these are what she called you see these dark marks on the side? It almost looks like they're evenly spaced. Here's one, here's one, here's one, here's like all these dark marks are evenly spaced. She proposed to me in her email that maybe they're scorch marks from a portal that opened up. Okay? And that this was and here's just one lone footprint. again, I don't see any other footprints leading up to it. I mean, how could there just be one footprint if this isn't an anomaly? And I've told you before that I believe that these Sasquatch, Nephilim hybrid offspring, they have the supernatural capabilities of their fallen angel fathers. Believe me, they have the ability to cloak, be invisible to the naked eye, and you guys know that because when I take my trail walks with you, you can tell that I'm not seeing anything. When I'm walking around, I'm not seeing anything. However, when I bring my footage home that I capture on my selfie stick on my phone or my laptop and I upload it, all kinds of stuff pops out. Okay? So, I've had my own experiences with this. This is no joke. But let's blow this up one more time, and then Sister Amanda has pictures to show us. Sister, if you're watching this live chat right now, feel free to send me anything that you find on your property or on your trail walks. Okay, she even has some structures that she found at the beach that I'm about ready to show you that are very, very anomalous as well. But again, there's only one footprint here, not many, and it's deeply into the ground. Like, here's the heel mark. It's indented, like something very heavy stepped there, but just one footprint. So I find that interesting. And if we look at these markings around the circle, okay, this is where the circle is. You can almost see she almost said they look like scorch marks, like blowing to the side. This is one of those markings. It almost looks like scorch marks, she said. If you can see them now as I blow them out, kind of like blowing this direction, blowing to the left. So her question to me was this a portal? A perfectly round portal with a Nephilim footprint right here. Okay? So those are just the first 3 images that a subscriber sent me. Now I'm going to open up her email because she gave me permission to do so, and let you read some of the commentary that she sent me on these photos, and she has more photos as well. Okay, so down here there are more photos I'm going to show you, not just the 3 I've shown you now. She said, hello, I left a comment on one of your videos talking about Sasquatch and other cryptids, and I showed pictures. I let you know that I was emailing you more pics, and she did. I'm the one who sent the pics of the portals months back. I can resend them, okay, and then she says here, the one portal with a footprint. Again, even she noticed only one footprint. Beside it, the other one I sent, and I believe they come out of, and I believe they come out of portals, okay, and on the ground is a portal, no doubt, she says. If you notice on the bottom of it, those black streaks look like they were burnt by the portal's fire. On the same day, she said, after taking pictures and sending them, I went back to where it was. So it wasn't the following day, it was the same day. She went back to where she found these images, and she said it was gone. So I went back to where it was, and it was gone on the same day. So I think they tried to wipe their evidence. Now, I never sent the other ones to you. I haven't shown anyone except my close friend I talk to every day. So thank you, Sister Amanda. I feel very honored that you would trust me. There were a few portals and some footprints. I put a text in them about what my thoughts are. Then the other structures were teepees. Okay, I saw those on the beach. She sent me pictures of teepees on the beach. With like driftwood. It might have been driftwood, but they were built into structures. Then the other structures were teepees, and there was this huge pole structure that had a circle in front of it. Could this be a portal? I took all of these on Surfside Beach in Texas. This was a month ago. When I went back a few weeks ago, there was one structure with a cross. Now, I've heard of this before too, where Scott Carpenter mentioned that some of the structures Scott Carpenter found on his trail walks in the mountains of Tennessee were actually shaped in the form of a cross. He said one time he made a cross and stuck it into a tree stump, and it was like knocked over. So isn't that interesting that Scott Carpenter made a cross, stuck it into a tree stump, or stood it up there, and then he went back, I think, a few days later, and it was completely knocked over and messed up. So that tells me they know exactly what the cross is and who the Lord Jesus Christ is. I believe that because they respond to spiritual laws of rebuking, I'm telling you, if they didn't know that God existed, Jesus existed, if they didn't respond to the authority of Jesus' name when they were rebuked, they would just be a regular being. Okay, obviously they're obeying some supernatural laws, right? So, not the first time I've seen one. She said, I believe I sent you that cross structure at my trail walk with the portal. You did, and I remember that. Why the cross? What's the square thing in front of it? It's like a runway to it or something, she says. If you have any questions about the Pics or anything, let me know. You can share them if you want. These things are making themselves known. She said, now I like what she says here. These things are making themselves known, okay? And they are becoming bolder than ever. They are. They're becoming more bold than ever. You've noticed that on my trail walks. Like, nothing seems to be hiding as much anymore. It's almost as though they're allowing themselves to be seen on my technology, okay? So I like what she says here. These things are making themselves known. Yes, they are, Amanda. Yes, they are. And they are becoming bolder than ever. Yes, I agree with that. As a matter of fact, during last night's live chat, Brother Michael was saying something about that. Like, if you notice that in the congressional hearings on the fallen angel UFO phenomena, it's becoming normal. It's normalized now to turn on C-SPAN or something and hear Congress talking about these phenomena. Okay? So, I also wanted to tell you, I saw that stick structure like the ones in your yard. So, she's obviously been watching my videos that I've shown you guys of the staffs that have been driven into my ground. So thank you, Amanda, for watching my channel. At the beach by the table. I was so stupid not to take a pic of it. It's gone now. I forgot to mention, at the beach at Surfside in Freeport, Texas, these structures were in a row all the way down the beach. Now, she gave me permission to share all of this, so that's what I'm doing. Thank you, Sister Amanda. She's been a subscriber for a while now. But she said that these structures were in a row all the way down the beach. So let's take a look at what she sent us. Okay, here are the original 3 pictures she sent me that I showed you a few minutes ago. Alright, so let's go down to, because I don't want to lose track of what I'm looking at. Let's go down to this one here. See if it'll open up for us, okay? Alright, okay, so this was the original image that she sent me without, overlaying it with wording or anything like that. What's interesting about this picture is I don't see the footprint over here. Maybe this is it right here. But maybe it's off to the side here and she got more of a narrow photo. But that's one of the pictures she sent me. Okay, so let's go back to the email again. Alright, let's go up. Okay, I'll look at the numbers here. 3 JPG, so let's open that up and see what else she sent us. Very interesting. I thank you for sending these. Okay, this is what she was talking about, that she said that there was a pole sticking out of the ground here, and that these sticks were all lined in a row, almost like a rectangle. She said she thought they looked perfectly positioned in this shape here. Now look at all the other driftwood just lying around. She says this was in a straight line, these were in a line, and of course this one's a little crooked, but she goes basically, she outlined it for us, what she saw. So if we zoom in, if I could get it to zoom in, maybe not. Okay, it doesn't want to cooperate right now. This is a huge pole back here, okay, and she said this is what was in front of it, and all these sticks were lined up. Now, as we look at the beach pictures, here we go, it's opening up now. Wow, look at the size of that thing just sticking out of the ground. Doesn't that look like what I found in my yard? Actually, if we look closer, this is a cross. Okay, so you got this huge stick here with a stick through it. See if we can get in any closer. Something stuck this through it with the intention of making it look like a cross. But like she said, why a cross? Interesting question. So here you've got a cross here. This is at the beach. And if you look down this way, it seems like the driftwood, like some of the driftwood is placed right next to each other in a straight line in front of this cross. There must be some kind of like wedge here that the stick can fit through. So let's look at some up close images here. Look at how they're all lined up. They're all lined up, one right after another. So who goes out of their way at the beach to do this? I mean, this is anomalous to me. And I have heard reports that these Nephilim hybrid offspring have been sighted at beaches before. So I think we're beginning to see that they're showing up in other locations, like the beach. Scott Carpenter did a video on them showing up in communities, which they do, because I've had things show up in my backyard. So here's the end of this picture, where this one's a little bit off-centered. Somebody could have moved it, but if this was positioned this way, it would be a perfect line straight across. And again, you've got all this lined up here with a cross over here. I mean, what does it mean? I don't know. Could somebody have built this, like a person on the beach have built it? I guess I can't rule it out. If I'm doing an investigation, I can't rule it out that somebody could have done that, but it is anomalous. Like, who goes out there and does that? I've been to the beach many times. All right, so let's look at another picture she sent us. Let's go down to 2 here. Again, these are from a subscriber named Amanda, who emailed me these pictures yesterday. So she gave us a close-up of the cross here. Let's see if we can get an even more. Yeah, okay, I can see it now. This is cracked through here, so it made it possible to stick, okay, no pun intended, to stick this stick right through this structure, right through this pole here. It looks like there's an opening here in order to put this through. This looks like a ship way out here at sea or something like that, or maybe it's an oil platform, I can't tell. So this is what she sent us of the close-up of this. Okay, let's look at another one. We'll go down to this one here. I hope I don't miss any of them. Excuse me. Okay. Now, this she found interesting because she said it looked like a cross in the ground. And of course it looks like there are tire marks that rode over this. These look like treads. Most likely, this looks like bike marks right here. And these look like treads that possibly came from those vehicles that clean the beach. You know, if you go out to the beach in the morning, you'll notice that the vehicles are driving around. Some noise over there. The vehicles will drive around the beach cleaning up. And it looks like one of those vehicles was turning here and ran right over this. Okay, because I could see all the track marks from a vehicle that was driving around. But somebody built a cross out of the sand here. And I think if the track marks that were here, if that didn't happen, you would see a perfectly formed cross in the sand. And it looks like what's interesting about this as well. Oh, wait a minute here. What is this right here? Is this made with a log underneath? I mean, what I'm looking at is the depth. Like if I'm looking at the edges here, because remember, I investigate everything. Depth, shadowing, everything. Is this a log under here, maybe put here, and this is a stick with sand positioned over it? Because if I look at this more closely, okay, look at the edge, the bottom side of this cross formation in the sand. Is this a piece of wood, like wedged into the sand and then driven into the ground up this way? And stopping here, but again, look at the depth. This is like 2 or 3 inches on the sides of this thing. Okay, there's got to be at least maybe an inch or 2 of depth here from top to bottom. There's depth here. There's depth here. This looks like a, actually, wow, is this a shell? There's a shell, just one lone shell sitting here. See, that's why I like to look at these things really closely. You know, when people send me something, I investigate them, I blow them up, I look at them closely. This looks like one lone shell sitting here. I can't get any closer. So yeah, there is depth then. There's got to at least be like an inch or 2 here for something or someone to place just one lone shell here. Could it be a gift? I don't know. But it's anomalous enough, you know, that I don't see shells placed anywhere else, but I just now noticed that there's one little shell here. That's strange. I don't see anything placed over here, but there's depth here to this. There's like a couple inches worth of depth here, On the sides here, like measuring from here down, there's depth. There's depth from here on down, one lone shell here. And then, like I said, when I go down to the bottom of the image of the cross, what is this right here? This isn't all sand. This could be a piece of driftwood or some kind of plywood, something. Oh, wait a minute, is this another shell here? Maybe it's just pareidolia. It might not be a shell at all. I can't tell what that is. But this is interesting, right here. It almost looks like something wedged a stick into the ground, right here, shoved it into the ground. It ends here with some depth to it here on the end. And then, of course, you've got a little shell here with some depth here and here. So there's the full picture right there. So you can investigate this with me and Sister Amanda. Amanda, again, sent these photos to me. These are not mine. These are a subscriber named Amanda. She sent me these pictures, okay? So I want to thank her for that. This is courtesy of Amanda. And if you blow it back out again, you can see tire marks where possibly a truck was out on the beach cleaning up the beach, okay? But something ran over it right here. But to me, when I look at this, it almost looks as though there's something. Not only does it have depth to it, there's like a couple inches of depth all the way around this thing. But I see something wedged here to give it shape. And then when I look right here, it looks like a shell. To me, what do you think? To me, this looks like maybe a couple inches deep in a shell. Let's look again, see if we've missed anything. I don't know if there's anything right here or not placed there. But these Nephilim beings, these hybrids, they like to leave gifts. That's why when I go to Piney Run Park, I tell you guys, I don't leave anything for them. There are some people that are researchers, which I do not consider myself. I simply take a walk in the park, and if something shows up on my films, you guys see it, you share it with me, that's that. I don't go out to interact. I don't talk to these beings. I don't leave them things. I mean, there's some researchers that'll leave apples and I think, marbles or toys, colorful things, that they'll leave them behind, and then they'll go back and check on it, like in remote areas, and the gifts are taken and something else is left in its place. I think Scott Carpenter has pictures of that in his book, where the Sasquatch were gifting him back. So, all right, so let's go to another image there. So that was at the beach. Okay, let's go down here and see what's here. Sorry, it's taking a minute to load. Here we go. Okay, this is anomalous. Again, she said all of these structures she found were all along the beach, like all along the coastline. She said, I just kept walking down the coastline. Well, you read it with me. You read her email with me, right? I had it up a little while ago. Let's get a little bit of a closer look here. This looks exactly like what was driven into my yard about a year and a half ago. Okay? Again, could this be made by man or by people? Of course. I'm not saying it can't, but I think she's noticing anomalies with these things, just like I have, but I'm looking at it from all angles. Some of these things could be positioned by people that are just visiting the beach for the day. But to me, this is just strange that somebody would take the time to make what I just showed you, that cross into the ground like that, or to put these driftwoods here in a circle around and then stick a stick in the middle of it. I mean, like, what message are people trying to give by building this? I mean, it could be time consuming too. And I'll tell you what, when I go to the beach, the last thing on my mind when I visit the beach is making structures like this. I sit in my lawn chair, I enjoy something to eat, and I enjoy the sun, at least when I was younger. But it never would have occurred to me to go to the beach and make these structures that I'm showing you. This piece of wood here seems to be like jammed into the ground and bent over again, almost like the tree markers I found when I went to my Piney Run Trail walk a couple of days ago. I found 3 instances, if you backtrack and look at my videos, I found 3 instances of trees with a root system Some of them were wider than others, but they weren't just jammed into the ground. They had a root system. They were actually growing in the ground at Piney Run Park, and one was bowed over, and two other ones I found were cracked and bent, but not completely broken in half. I actually showed you that in my trail walk, okay? So that was anomalous to me. So when I find structures like that at Piney Run Park, I always pay attention. As a matter of fact, when I found one of those structures at Piney Run Park, there's an image of me pointing in that direction, saying I heard something over there, and it was me investigating one of the tree breaks, and I found like at least two faces there watching me as I was investigating this structure. So if you want to backtrack to that video and take a look, you can. Let's see what we have here. I hope I'm not missing anything. I'm trying to go in a row here. All right, let's see. Oh, this is the same thing from a different angle. We can blow it up if you want. So she got a different angle for us. I'm going to investigate this whole thing. Again, a circle. And this stick here is being supported, it looks like, by these beams from these driftwood pieces here. And there's something even leaning here. Okay, so she just wanted to give us a different angle of what we're seeing here. So if you notice anything else anomalous with this, let me know. It always, like I said, even when I do my trail walks, it's always good to have another set of eyes, you know. And thankfully, you guys have done that for me. So thank you, Sister Amanda, for giving us another viewpoint of this image. She gave us one off to the side, and now we're having a straight-on view here with a circle right in front of it. So, interesting. All right, let's go on to the next image that subscriber Amanda sent me. Okay, let's see if I'm missing anything, I'll backtrack through all of them and see if I'm missing anything. Let's see here. Okay, this is one of those TP type structures she told me about. Now, there's one structure I saw that looks so convincing as a TP. It's so perfectly built. It's incredible. All it would need to keep the rain off of you is a tarp thrown over it, but it was perfectly orchestrated, and I'll show you that in a minute. But this is another structure she found on the beach. Now, what's interesting about this, okay, this thought just occurred to me. I don't see any footprints, whether human or anything else, leading up to any of these structures. I don't, you know, like if somebody was building this, I don't know, not unless the surf comes in at high tide and wipes out the footprints. I just noticed I don't see any footprints around this, but what if the surf comes up to here during high tide and erases the footprints? I mean, whether they're Nephilim hybrids or whether they're people doing this, high tide could, I guess, easily wipe away the footprints. But I look here, I'm looking for footprints, I'm looking for anything else anomalous. I'm looking to see if any gifts were left or anything like that. Now, unlike the other picture, I don't see a gift that was left. I think that shell that was put into that sand cross, I'm going to call it, was maybe a gifting from one of those beings. So I'm looking to see if I notice anything unusual here. Now, again, you know, they're interlaced and everything like that, positioned and interlaced so perfectly that none of them seem to be falling over. So, something like this doesn't form naturally. The only other explanation I can think of for this structure is it could be man-made. Okay, I need to, like if I'm being an investigative person here, I have to concede that it's possible. Maybe not probable, but there is a possibility that there were people that were out on the beach building these things, although, you know, if I'm going to look at the other side of this, how many times do you go to the beach, or have I gone to the beach, and gone out of my way to make all these structures I've already shown you? You know, the cross standing up on a pole with the rectangle shape in front of it, the staff driven in the ground with the circle of driftwood, and now this. Like, I'm looking at all this going, like, do people really come to the beach and take time to do this? I know I didn't. It was the last thing on my mind to tell my family, oh, just give me a minute. I think I'm going to go out onto the beach while we're here on vacation and build a few teepees and stick structures and put sand crosses into the ground. So, it's just not something, and all the other people I saw at the beach weren't doing this. So something is collecting the driftwood, whether it's man or it's a Nephilim, and making these structures. All right, so let's go on to the next one. But I guess the lack of footprints here could be also due to high tide coming in and washing away the footprints, because I kept wondering, why am I not seeing footprints there? So that could be the explanation why. Whether they are, okay, this is the same thing, I'm sorry. Whether they are hybrid beings making this, or if it's human beings making it, the footprints could be being just washed away. So again, if you're just joining us, these pictures I'm showing you are not mine. Look at this TP. They're from a subscriber named Amanda. And I'll backtrack through all the pictures quickly again. If you're new, you're just joining this live chat premiere. These pictures I'm showing you are from Sister Amanda, a subscriber. And we're also going to be getting into some images that were taken when I was taking my trail walks at Piney Run Park, showing a very interesting being standing two interesting beings that were standing. One was standing to my right, hiding in some foliage and shadows. That was easily captured by Brother Mike. He freeze framed it and sent it to me. And another image was of what looked like to me some kind of Nephilim being standing maybe 2 feet behind me, and it resembled Scott Carpenter's picture of a dog man. But anyway, let's get back to Sister Amanda's photos. Now, who built this? Again, let me zero in. I'm going to see if I can find if there's any gifting here, if there's any footprints. Let's see. But this is perfectly woven. I mean, like when I look at this, if I built this, or if one of my sons built this or something, it would take probably hours to build something like this, to make it stand so perfectly structured that it didn't fall apart and collapse. So let's look closely what we got going on here. I'm trying to look at how these are interwoven and positioned. Again, I take my time with these things, guys, because I think I have a fairly good eye for noticing things that are anomalous, I think. I hope. So let's see. Again, and isn't it interesting that this teepee has an opening here that something could get in? Now, is this large enough for a Sasquatch or a Nephilim to fit into? That's another one of my questions. I'm looking at the size of this thing. Yes, it's anomalous, and it would take probably maybe 2 to 4 hours of someone, if it was a person, a human being making this, to perfectly position all of these pieces so this whole structure didn't collapse in on itself. It looks like it's difficult to do. This looks like it's time consuming. So let's look at the doorway. Okay. So there's actually a doorway, an opening here where something can get in and sit down. But why? And look at the stick coming through here supporting, like every beam is interlaced with another driftwood to support it. Like I'm looking at this piece right here coming down, and it's being supported by this wishbone shaped thing here, coming through here, jutting through here. Then I look at the other structures. It just looks like everything is perfectly positioned so that it's not collapsing in on itself. So I'm looking at the interlacing of these branches, saying number one, who would take the time to do this and why? Okay, so if this was a child that made this, or maybe some teenagers at the beach made this, I'm not saying it's impossible, it's possible. However, it would take forever to make all those structures I've shown you, that Sister Amanda has shown you so far on this beach. And here's the doorway leading into it, but every piece seems to be interlaced in such a way that it is supported so well that it's not falling over on itself. And I've noticed that, like in the woods, when I've taken walks at Freedom Park or Piney Run Park. Let's blow this back out again. Where tree structures I've seen they're so perfectly positioned that, I'm not saying a person couldn't do it, but usually the trails I take are pretty remote where there's not that many people. My friend Christine has noticed things in the mountains of Pennsylvania where these structures are so perfectly interwoven, like this one you're looking at here, that why would a person take the time out of their day to go and make a structure like that out in the middle of nowhere, and for what reason? Now, this is, again, I'm sure this is in a public area where people frequent to go to the beach. So, again, is this man-made? Is this made by a modern Nephilim? Or some people call them Sasquatch? I don't know. I think it's anomalous, and it would take a lot of time and effort to position all of these pieces so that it didn't collapse in on itself. Or, another interesting fact is that when the high tide comes in, we all know how powerful waves are. I've actually been knocked over by waves in the ocean before. So why is this not being knocked over, and other structures aren't being knocked over? Obviously, they're so well built that they can withstand the high tide. Which I, again, believe that explains away the lack of footprints that are being seen. I doubt that's a footprint back here. That's too far away. So, high tide comes in, it stands. Same with the other structures. High tide comes in, they stand. Nothing collapses in. And any footprints are washed away by high tide, but the high tide is not destroying these things. And when I tell you, I've been hit by waves before, and riding those boards in on the waves, and I've been knocked right over before by a wave. So why is it these things aren't being knocked over? I don't know. Now I'm going to go back through all her pictures again and show you quickly. If you're just joining the live chat, these pictures were sent to me by Sister Amanda, and she gave me permission to show you her email as well as these pictures. Now this one, I guess it's the same one, but it looks like it's surrounded by like perfectly placed driftwood around this way. Now let me zero in more. Alright, what is this right here? Is this like a chair? Let's take a look. This looks like a chair. Yeah, it is. It's a chair. Here's the armrest. Here's the seat. Here's the backing. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, if somebody were to, because the opening is on this side, if this were made by children or kids, why wouldn't they bring the chair inside to sit inside it? Like, a lot of kids would like to do that. Teenagers, kids would like to take the chair and bring it inside the teepee they're proud of making. So why is there a chair just laying here next to this teepee on its side like this? It just doesn't, like, I'm trying to make sense of it or the purpose of it. Again, I'm looking for anything anomalous on the ground. So once again, the waves are crashing. They're getting closer to the structure, and I can tell by the smoothness of the sand that the high tide comes up and could definitely reach the structure, and it's not the high tide waves, or the force of these waves is not taking the structure down. So that's interesting. So this is courtesy of a subscriber named Amanda. I'm going to go through all these pictures again very quickly, but again, the doorway is over here, I believe, but why is this chair laying here? For what reason? Is it supporting something? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that, but from a human perspective, building something like this, I could see, maybe a junior high school age kid or high school age kid or college age kid maybe wanting to put a chair inside this teepee that they were proud of building, that the high tide is not destroying, and take this chair here and move it inside and kind of like sit there. And I don't know, some kids like to do that when they build forts or tree houses, but here we've got this lone chair just sitting here, this lone plastic gray chair just sitting here on its back, like tilted over. So, alright, we're going to zoom back out again. Thank you, Sister Amanda, for this. Again, a subscriber on this channel. I'm going to go back over with you some of her pictures really quickly for those of you who may have missed them or just joining. This, I believe, is just one deeply indented footprint. There are no more footprints surrounding it, leading up to it or away. Sister Amanda said she put her foot next to this, and I'll show you the picture, that she believes it's a Sasquatch, like, heel mark right here, deeply put into the ground. A perfect circle with what she said in an email to me looks like scorch marks here from something that could have opened up. She said she went back later that day. She told me this in her email. She went back later that day and said that this was all gone. That all of this here was gone on her trail walks. It was all gone. So let's go back up. Let's go back down here. All right, this is a picture of Amanda's foot next to this. This looks like toes up through here, possibly. Maybe there's toes up here. This is definitely a heel mark, and it's deep. This is a deeply indented foot mark. Like, if you look at, I've gotten close-ups of this during this video. This looks to be, if you measure it from here to here, it's going down into the ground. It's impressed into the ground, maybe an inch or two, where her foot is just standing on the surface normally. So something heavy had to make this footprint. So that was from Sister Amanda again. This is from her as well. This was her thoughts, was something dragged into a portal, and she circled it for us right here. Circled the portal and circled what looked to be to her like an indented line right here, leading into this perfect circle. Again, she said she went back and she saw nothing. It was gone. All right, so I'll open these up quickly and show them one more time for those of you who may just be joining. I want to see a recap of these, and then I'll move on to my pictures, and we'll be discussing the Order of the Eastern Star. Okay, we showed this picture. Okay. All right, here's an image she sent me. We'll blow it up again. Of a rectangle of driftwood, perfectly placed in the shape of a rectangle. And then here you've got, if you blow it up even more, you've got what she said looked like a cross to her. And of course, we went in close enough to this to realize that there's a wedge here. It's a cracked piece of driftwood. Again, driven into the ground, and notice that the waves aren't knocking it over. The high tide must come past this because the sand is smooth, that when the high tide comes in, it's not taking this thing down. And a stick was driven through this opening right here, this cracked opening right here. It's like a wedge it's wedged in there in the shape of a cross. Again, my observation of looking at this is why, because the sand is very smooth up here, which tells me this is low tide right now. But when the tide is coming in, why is it not knocking over those teepees? Or why is it not knocking over this cross symbol here? Why? Interesting, huh? Okay, let's look at some more that she sent us. I don't know if this is the same one or not. It could be. Let's see. Yep, it is. All right, I'm sorry. I'm losing track of where I'm clicking at here. Let's come down here. And this is yet another image that, okay, this is the close-up image of the cross that she sent me. And if you look closely enough, you can see where it's wedged in through where this crack is here. Perfectly put into the sand, okay. The tide is coming in, as you can see. But based on this picture, I can tell how smooth the sand is again, that the high tide has come in and it's not destroyed any of these structures or taken them down. And I've been hit by waves coming in. It takes you down like that. But apparently these structures are literally weathering, pun intended, it's weathering this high tide. So let's look at another photo real quick that she sent. All right, again, for those of you who are just joining, this is an image of that she found on the beach of a perfect cross. And what I found in this image, I don't know what that is right there. Let's see, what is that? That just looks like okay, it looks like a rock, a black rock. Okay. But when you zero in here, okay, there's something wedged into the ground here. I mean, this is like maybe 3 or 4 inches deep here, or thick, and it looks like it's driven into the ground to make this perfect cross. Here here's the cross section here. This is like dug in pretty deeply. So whatever made those indentation marks here, they made it deep enough to put a shell in here. Maybe that's supposed to be a gifting thing that they do, I'm not sure. But it looks like a shell right here. And here's the top of the cross, which has depth to it again. I mean, this thing is thick, and it's got depth to it. It's not like somebody just took their finger and made a cross, or, you can build a sandcastle, or, you can build a cross in the sand. A human being can do that, yes. My question is, when high tide comes up, why isn't this washed away? Why aren't these structures, just the structures themselves, the teepees, the tree structures, washed away? My boys and I used to make sand structures all the time with each other when we visit the beach, and when high tide came in, it took everything we made away. It took our footprints away, the high tide did, and it took away every little sandcastle we made with their buckets. The high tide came in and just washed it all away. Why? This is still here, and yet the sand around it seems smooth. All I see here are tire marks from the trucks that clean the beach. But something thick here was wedged into the ground, maybe to help make the shape so it would stay there. Again, why a cross? And who did it? And this shell right here, what? That's just sitting in there? I don't know. I don't know what to make of that, okay? So that's another image that a subscriber named Amanda sent me. Let's see if I've missed anything. See if this is the same one or not. I'm not sure. Yep, it is. All right. I keep bringing up the same ones. I'm sorry. All right, let's go down to another one and see if I'm just trying to recap for people who may be coming into this live chat just now, that these images I'm showing are from a subscriber named Amanda, and she sent these in to me. And she said that as she walked up and down the beach, these structures were all up and down the coastline here. Again, when the high tide comes in, and you can see right here where the tide is receded, because there's an indentation here where the water has pooled. See the sandbar here and where the water's pooled here? That tells me we're at low tide right now. But when the tide comes in, why is this still here? That's my question. So when high tide comes in, it should be washing all of this away, in my opinion. And it's not. I'm just opening up various pictures to show you here. Skipping around a little bit. Okay, here's another one. If you're just joining us, subscriber sent this to me, named Amanda. The tide is low here, but when the tide comes in, and it obviously has several times since this was built, because to me, you can see how smooth the sand is around the structure, and it hasn't knocked it over or swept it away into the sea. These things have to be so deeply driven into the sand and positioned so perfectly that even a high tide doesn't wash them away. It's usually, like I said, when I've built things on the beach before, whether it's little sand castles or something like that, it gets taken away during high tide and washes it right away. So these structures seem to be able to weather it, okay, which I find interesting. Here's another TP structure that Sister Amanda sent me. Again, the high tide, this is low tide, I can tell. And when the high tide comes in, look how smooth the sand is. It is not destroying this or washing it away during high tide. So who took the time to build this so perfectly and interlace them so that the high tide couldn't take it down? I don't know. All right, let's go down with some more. Oh, this is one I haven't shown you yet. Okay. This one's interesting. Let's zoom in. I haven't seen this one yet. I'm sorry, Sister Amanda. I literally thought that I opened up all of them. Apparently I did not. So we've got, wow, this is interesting. Again, low tide. You can see where the water's pooling back here. Low tide, but when the high tide comes in, it's not completely taking this down or away, just like the other structures. But what I see here is this stick. okay, that's shaped this way is wedged right here in this Y-shaped stick that's put into the ground. It's like perfectly positioned in between this wedge here. Here it is, it's perfectly positioned here on the stick. Again, if I'm going to the beach, I don't know why I would take the time to make this. So, if you're just joining us, I don't know, my only reason for not seeing footprints here, and I would think to myself it's because when the tide comes in, it just washes away the footprints. So we don't know if this was, made by a hybrid being or kids at the beach or whatever. I'm tending to lean more toward a hybrid or Sasquatch because they're so perfectly positioned and built so well that the weather and the waves are not destroying them, which to me is unusual. Okay, so let's go to another image here. I didn't see that one before. I apologize for that. Let's see, I'm just looking at the time. Let's see what we got here. Okay. This is a different one I haven't seen. Okay, so if you look at this here, again, this one's not as thickly made as the other ones, but look how it's perfect circle it's made in here on the beach. And whoever created this put it looks like a purple ribbon or something. Let's zero in. Again, like that one image I showed you where there was just a little shell sitting in that cross structure. There was a little shell. Could this be the same type of thing where it's being gifted? I don't know. And the fact that there are homes right here, I find unusual. That would somebody not see whoever or whatever was building this build it? I mean, there's windows all over here. So how did this go up so quickly that whoever's living in these homes right here and here these beach homes didn't see this being built? Maybe they did. I don't know. But I'm looking at, again, the high tide has not moved these six. There's no footprints that I can see. Oh, wait a minute. There might be, no, those aren't footprints. No. Okay, no. High tide is washing away footprints, but it's leaving behind these structures. And with all these homes back here, it makes me wonder, was there an eyewitness to this? Did somebody see this, look out the window and say, look at this teepee structure. Who's out there building this, And why? I don't know. Only the people who live here or are vacationing here would have the answer to that. So this is another image that she sent me that is very odd and anomalous indeed. So let's see if we can find any more. Okay, now do you see this teepee structure down here? That's what she was telling me, that they lined the beach. She said she found these teepee structures lining the beach. So here's another one over here. So let's blow this up. That's one of them we looked at, I think. And then here's another one right here. Okay. Again, they're wedged pretty well, so that, and even this one is so well built that when the high tide waves come in, it is not destroying them. Alright, so I've shown you all the images that she sent me. Again, here's one over here. Here's one. Thank you, subscriber Amanda. Thank you for sending me this and your email as well. The subscriber that emailed me these pictures told me very clearly in her email that she felt like these things are becoming more brazen, more bold, and I agree with her. So here's another image here. Again, high tide must come up this way because look how smooth the sand is. There's no footprints, but the structure remains, even through high tide waves. Okay. Let's continue to look here. This thing is odd. Now, some of this could have been partially destroyed by high tide. That's possible. So, again, I agree with this subscriber who sent me these pictures that they're becoming more bold as time goes on. So look how well this is built. This is thickly built and interlaced so perfectly. The measurements are a perfect TP. If a human being is doing this, it would possibly, I would guesstimate, take hours to put this together. And again, it's low tide, and the tide is not taking this out to sea. Okay. So those are the anomalies that I wanted to show you that a subscriber, Sister Amanda, I went through all these pictures for you. If you're just joining and you want to backtrack and see all the images that subscriber Amanda sent me, feel free to. You can backtrack maybe 30 to 40 minutes into the video, and 30 or 40 minutes ago, and you'll find it. So there's her foot next to this indented footprint here. Something heavy had to make this footprint, and there's depth to this picture. And there's what she said was a portal with scorch marks on the side, and here's the one footprint. Not several footprints around this, one footprint. Okay? So let's go to, I'm going to keep this as new. Mark is unread. And I'm going to show you something. Let me just bring out one of the images here. Okay, it's not that one, I'm sorry. Let's go back. Alright, this is the one I want to zoom in on real quick. Can you see the depth of what I'm talking about here? Whatever made this heel imprint is deep, is heavy, in my opinion. And I'm looking at the top here, and it almost looks like, like you've got an outline of a toe right here. Possible toes over here, I'm not sure. But looking at this with her heel lining up with this thing extends at least maybe 4 inches longer than her own foot. So if I held a ruler out this way and measured out to where this stops, like right here, her foot would have to be this big. Okay, so if it's just something anomalous made this, and there's only one of them, one. And when I zero in on it, I see depth. I see something heavy that created this, because I see, like, this is maybe an inch and a half down into the ground. Pressed into the ground. So that's the image I wanted to show you, courtesy of a subscriber named Amanda, who sent these things to me. Okay? So that's, and Sister Amanda, if you have any more you would like to send this channel, I will display them for the viewer to see. Okay? I will display them. So thank you so much for sharing this email with me. I agree with you. They're becoming more open and more bold now. They've even done that on my channel. Okay, when I go to take a trail walk. Now these are emails I sent to myself about the part human DNA study. The Bigfoot is part human DNA study claims, and I wanted to see how they Lou Elizondo discusses fallen angels here. So I'm going to get into that another episode. I'm going to get into Anton LaVey, who we know is a Satanist. So some of these things I'm emailing myself are for future videos. I'm not going to get into today. All right. Let's see what this one is here. Okay, this didn't seem to want to open up. I wanted to show you the picture of the dog man. Oh, here we go. Okay. Well, first, before I do that, let me show you some, because I have the dog man pictures here that Brother Michael captured. I think I've got 3 of them, and I've even got some footprints to show you that were in the snow. But I want to show you, first of all, the Order of the Eastern Star. This is the female version of Freemasonry. So whenever you see OES, it stands for Order of the Eastern Star. It even says down here, Order of the Eastern Star. And you see these women, they have the Masonic symbols on this carpet down here, but look how they're dressed. Now this is an old photo, a painting, apparently, of women that are very proudly practicing the craft. They're proudly wearing their emblems of the Order of the Eastern Star. And this organization, the OES, is still in existence today, and it is the female version of Freemasonry. So everything that I've exposed on this channel about Freemasonry holds true for the Order of the Eastern Star. Okay? They're into the magic arts, they're into the occult, they're everything, the dark, the light, the force of balanced energy, and they're into all of that. The only difference is this is an all-women's fraternity. Very, very similar to Freemasonry. So I wanted to show you this old picture here of these women. That's how far these organizations go back. This is nothing new under the sun. Ecclesiastes tells us that what has been will be again. There's nothing new under the sun. Now, I've noticed something with some of these women that are sitting here. I wonder if you've noticed it with me. Notice the position of the hands. They're all the same. This one may be, now this is to, one hand is overlapping another in such a way, say this is overlapping this arm, this is overlapping this hand. Look at the position of their hands. Back here as well, except for this woman, because she's obviously holding something like a pamphlet maybe. But look at the position of the hands. That's something I noticed right away. The Order of the Eastern Star emblems that they're wearing. Let's see what we can see here. I can't quite make out these markings here that they're wearing. Maybe you can. But some of these markings that are on them are no doubt either denote rank in the Order of the Eastern Star, because some of them just have straight up and down collars with a necklace on, where others have this particular, almost looks like remember the old patrol belts that school children used to wear? They'd have school safety patrols. Now, I'm old enough to remember the school safety patrols, because when I was growing up, I'll be 60 in a year and a half, so when I was growing up, I remembered them wearing these type of belts that were orange in color, and they were street crossing guards, and they would help out be called patrols. So some of these women are wearing something that looks like that with insignias on them, while others are just wearing straight up and down. It looks like different types of things here. But this is just one of the Order of the Eastern Star meeting pictures I wanted to show you. This is not innocent. If you're a woman and you go to a Southern Baptist church or any denomination and you are told, come join the Order of the Eastern Star, we all have a great time together, we're studying about God and the Bible, the scriptures, no. Just like Freemasonry, the Order of the Eastern Star, these women join innocently, not realizing that in the later degrees that they'll realize the craft is used, white magic is used, incantations. Manly P. Hall actually said that when a Mason arrives at a certain degree, he finally realizes that he holds the seething powers of Lucifer in his hand. This is coming from Manly P. Hall, a 33-degree Freemason. I'm telling you, these women are no different, guys. And as a matter of fact, my husband works with a woman who is part of the OES, and he told me about it and said he's tried to witness to her gently by telling her, hey, that's not exactly a godly organization. Are you a Christian? And the woman said, yes, she's a Christian. And my husband tried to appeal to her based on the scriptures and say, you need to come out of this. This is no different than Freemasonry. And whether this woman ever left or not, I don't know. My husband never quite followed up on that with me. I think it was just one of those conversations in passing that he had with this person. So I just wanted to show you a couple images of the Order of the Eastern Star and show you that they are definitely the female version of Freemasonry. Okay? Now here is an actual photograph of a woman who is an OES, an Order of the Eastern Star. She looks to be a high-ranking matron here. She's got the typical Masonic apron on. She's wearing emblems on her arms here. Here she's got another type of V-neck shaped piece around her neck. Let's get a little bit closer. These women, just like Freemasons, have no idea what they're getting involved in until the higher degrees. So notice how she's wearing the apron, okay, with symbols on it. Now, just like a Freemason would. Now, what's on her arm here, I don't know. Let's see. This almost looks like, I cannot quite make out these symbols, and maybe you guys can. Now, some of the women in the other picture I showed you, they look like they had this particular symbol around their necks as well. But notice, she looks pretty happy. She looks pretty convinced that she's not doing anything wrong, that this is an innocent club to join, feel like you're a part of something. But I wanted to show you that this picture was probably taken in the 1920s or 30s. So again, a very old photo showing you that there's nothing new under the sun. What has been will be again, Solomon said, and there's nothing new that you'll find under the sun. So, but look at this Masonic apron. So those were two of the pictures I wanted to show you. Again, I will show you, let me see if I can get this here. The 33 Degrees of Deception book by Tom McKenney that he wrote, he also mentions Freemasonry in this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the back of this book, okay? 33 Degrees of Deception by Thomas McKenney. I'm going to leave this picture up here of this this woman who's a part of the Eastern Star. I'm going to leave it up for you to look at as I read the back of this book, okay? And then we're going to get into some other pictures. Thomas McKenney goes on to say here, Freemasonry, a deadly deception. Now I'm reading from the back of the book. A deadly deception. So is the Order of the Eastern Star, or the OES. The shadow of death hovers over many of the rites and rituals of Freemasonry. In Letters on the Masonic Institution by John Quincy Adams, we learn of an ancient Masonic ritual known as the Fifth Libation, which involves drinking wine from a human skull. Okay, I'm just starting to read the back of this book, guys. Okay? So the Fifth Libation is they drink wine out of a human skull. Every Mason takes death oaths, and several Masonic executions have taken place throughout history. Now, what did Jesus tell us? Do not swear by anything in heaven or earth below. Do not make oaths in secret. As a matter of fact, Jesus told people that when he spoke to he spoke in the open. He spoke openly to people. He said, I said nothing in secret. Yet, Freemasonry and the OES, you're looking at right here, they encourage people to, I'm sorry, I just messed that up. They encourage people to take these oaths, okay? Author Tom McKenney exposes the deadly secrets of this fraternity, and I believe this is included as well, which has more than 3 million members around the world in a careful and objective manner. He reveals the connection between Freemasonry and the New Age movement. Now, is this what I was saying yesterday when I showed you guys those pictures? If you haven't seen the video, backtrack please and watch yesterday's video. I showed you pictures of that I took out of a Masonic book that was secretly given to me from a Masonic lodge. And in this book, it talked about the light side, the dark side, the balance of male and female energy. It talked about all kinds of New Age practices, practicing magic, incantations, and things like that. I showed that to you. I took the pictures from the Masonic book and I put it up on the screen for you to see in yesterday's video. So he is confirming this, all right, right now. And it says here that the members are very heavily into Freemasonry and New Age, are heavily connected. The New Age movement, and he delves into the occult roots of the secret society. I proved that to you yesterday in yesterday's video. This book, 33 Degrees of Deception, is a very comprehensive book that tells the personal story of one completely dedicated Mason, Jim Shaw, who became a Knight Commander of the Court of Honor, worshipful Master of the Blue Lodge, and Master of all Scottish Rite bodies. You will want to know why Jim Shaw left Masonry, and the price he paid for leaving. This book sheds light on the darkness of Freemasonry, okay, Ephesians 5:11, expose darkness, as the author gives penetrating answers to the questions many people ask about this secret society. Is there a connection between Masonry and the Illuminati and the New Age? Why is Masonry opposed to Christian schools? Is Freemasonry a religion? This asks. Can a man be both a Christian and a Mason? Okay, we delved into that yesterday as well. So it says here, Dan Brown's novel called The Lost Symbol presents a favorable view of Freemasonry, but Tom McKenney's book gives the reader a different perspective, one that is based on truth. So I just wanted to read you the back of this book, 33 Degrees of Deception. I really encourage you to either download it so you can read it like in an ebook format, or order it off Amazon or something. Okay, but I'm not going to go into all those pictures again today. I might make a video another time showing you those images that I captured. I took pictures of from a book that was given to me, a Masonic book that was given to me secretly from a Freemasonic lodge. I had possession of this book for about 3 days, and I had to return it. So I had to do my reconnaissance work quickly, take my pictures, and return the book before it could be known as that it was missing. Okay? So anyway, here's another picture of a woman who's an Order of the Eastern Star wearing the Masonic apron. Okay? So I told you I'd show you images from the Order of the Eastern Star, and I wanted to follow through with that. As a matter of fact, before we get into anything else, I want to play you. I'm going to turn up the volume on my phone, and yes, I have to use my phone for this because I don't have it up here. What I want to do is, while I'm looking for what I'm looking for on my phone, I'm going to show you a red orb that I found that was coming from the direction of Piney Run Park behind me, because Piney Run Park is behind me. Was coming from that direction behind me and flew above the house and just kind of sat there and then disintegrated. I had my phone with me, thankfully, and I was able to capture a picture of this thing. Two of my sons were with me in the backyard at the time, and one of my sons looked over at me and said, "Mom, what is that?" He caught sight of it before I did, and it was this orange orb flying from the direction of Piney Run Park behind me all the way over the top of the house, and it hovered there until it finally just slowly disintegrated and disappeared. So as it was moving toward the house, I captured this image on my phone. So I'm going to leave that up for you while I look for the video that I'm looking to play for you here on Freemasonry and how Freemasons believe that Lucifer is the light. Oh, wait a second. Christian interviews. Freemason. I'm going to see if I can get the video up of that, where he says Lucifer is light. I thought I could come across it more easily. I'll leave this picture up for a minute for you guys. Alright, let me see here. Let me try typing something else in. Okay, let's see if this does it. Goodness, I may not be able to find it. I hope it wasn't taken down. This was actually a... Oh, here it is. I found it. So I've got the volume turned up on my phone. So, okay, I'll play it for you in a minute. I have to hold it up. You'll be able to hear the sound of this interview. It's about a 1.5 minute interview of a Christian brother interviewing a Freemason about Freemasonry, and what you're going to hear is interesting. So let me put up a new picture again. This was a red orb that I captured flying from the direction of Piney Run Park. Two of my sons that were with me saw it. They're the ones who brought it to my attention, otherwise I wouldn't have seen it. And I had my phone with me, and I grabbed my phone and took a picture of it, and this is what I captured. Notice the trail behind it. That looks interesting, doesn't it? Can you see that? It almost looks like a light trail behind it. Like something's trailing behind it. I mean, this is not a meteor. This is not like, it's nothing like that. As a matter of fact, when I look at this orb close up, are you seeing what I'm seeing? I've never looked at this really this closely before. It almost looks like a face in here. Now, again, the white orb that I captured, that I've shown you many times on this channel, had eyes on it. This red orb almost looks as though it's almost like a face when I blow it up closer. A face flying through the sky, like here's an eye, a nose, and a mouth. Does it not look like that? Now, what these two things are on the side, I'm not sure. But just like the white orb I captured and showed you that had eyes on it, okay, again, seeing this kind of thing is troubling, but it almost looks like here's a chin, a mouth, a nose, an eye, and an eye. These orbs could be some of the ways that these Sasquatch or these hybrids travel if they have supernatural abilities from their fallen angel fathers. It's possible. But when you zoom out, you can't really see the face too well. It just looks like a bright red orb. But when you zoom in, I don't know. Now, it could be pareidolia. I could be seeing this entirely wrong. My brain could be playing tricks on me with this. these may not be eyes or nose or mouth at all, okay? It may not be. But let me bring up another picture for you while I get this video ready. Okay. Okay, let me bring up. Now, these pictures I'm going to show you was sent to me from Brother Michael, a subscriber on this channel, and he watches my trail walks, and which I'm appreciative of. He watches my trail walks, and he seems to capture things very well. He has a good eye. I was standing right here, and he circled in red what was here, right here. Standing behind me is a being that, to me, when I blow up the image, looks like a dog man. And I'm going to show you several images of this. So when I blow it up, can you see a muzzle here? Like, here's a mouth. It looks like a dog nose here. And there's a big white eye right here with a pupil. I'm going to blow it up even more. Here's another pupil over here. Here's the white eye right here with the pupil right here. The muzzle. All right, I'm going to leave it right there for a minute. And before you listen to this interview from this Freemason, I'll show you the picture again that Scott Carpenter took. Now, what looks like to me, this could be like ears here, 1, 2 ears, a muzzle. Here's a white eye, very big white eye with a dark pupil here, and another one right here. Here's shoulders. Here's the body hiding behind the foliage. Now, look how close this is to me. Again, I don't hire people to go stand out and wear dogman suits and Nephilim hybrid suits and things like that and say, hey, come and hide at Piney Run Park, all of you, because I capture several images there. I'm going to pay each and every one of you to stand out in the middle of the woods and pose for me, okay? I'm not a rich person, guys, and my husband he's going to need medical treatments because of something he's going through that's going to be extremely costly. This is something that's authentic, that was captured, that I did not see when I was taking this trail walk. So, but there's an eye right here, right below, these are leaves right here, but if you look right below these leaves, you can see the eye, the outline of the eye, the pupil. There's another eye over here, and they're wide and long. Here's a muzzle. This looks like a dog muzzle to me, and this looks like dog ears over here. Okay, so look at that again, standing that close to me. Now look at this picture that Scott Carpenter took, and you tell me if it looks similar. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see. Right here. Right there. This with the white eyes, the muzzle. And when you look at the picture I have on the screen, do they not look almost the same? So, all right. So I wanted to show you that picture from Scott Carpenter that, to me, I see the same muzzle with a mouth where it just looks like a dog man to me. And I have other images I can show you of that. Okay, I'll leave this up on the screen for you to look at. I have other filters that I use to show you this, but there's that muzzle with the mouth here and the snout. Here's an eye right here with a dark pupil. Here's another eye that's obscured, sort of. And over here you've got what looks like ears. So this, to me, this does not look like a typical hybrid face where this does not look like a human nose to me. This looks like a muzzle right here with an eye right behind, almost right behind this foliage right here. And look how close I am to whatever this is standing here. So, all right, let me play this video for you, see if it'll come through. Maybe you'll hear the sound. I don't know if it's going to play. Let's see. Here we go. Okay.
Lucifer, what is your problem? Just that, sir. I'm a Christian, sir. I'm pure and virtuous and wholesome and innocent. How can you say anything bad about me? Sir, you need to be born again. I am born again. Now, did you just say that you were Lucifer? I am Lucifer. Okay, define Lucifer for me. Pure, virtuous, wholesome, innocent individual that's out to help people. Lucifer is? Say that again. Lucifer is a pure, holy, virtuous. Now, is he the Lucifer that God created? That's the same one. Oh, man, this is great. I'm going to put this on the internet. Oh, God bless you, Amen. Brother. Because that's exactly what the Shriners and Masons teach, is that Lucifer is light. No. And what about those hospitals? You know what?
what, sir? Jesus said, many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did not do these good deeds in your name? And you'll say, away from me, you workers of iniquity, I never knew you.
Jesus said it?
In Matthew chapter 5.
Mercy.
No.
That's hard to believe.
So, you're a Christian and you don't know that. Actually,
No, I really am.
you are.
Because I'm pure and virtuous.
You're pure and virtuous, okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
In other words, you're perfect without Jesus, right?
No.
Okay, tell me about Jesus. Who is Jesus?
Well, he's my leader.
Is he the Son of God?
Yes, he
Is he
is.
the only worshipful master?
Yes.
Have you ever been called worshipful master?
No, because I've just been too busy. I've been working.
Working.
Working to help people.
What
like
kind
you.
of work?
Get out of here.
See, this is what a Mason confesses, is that Lucifer is light. You heard it?
Okay. So, hopefully you were able to see that and hear it clearly. I wanted to play that for you. Since yesterday's video was exposing Freemasonry, and today's video is exposing not only Freemasonry, but the Order of the Eastern Star as well. But there again, that was a Christian man interviewing this person, and you heard it right out of this Mason's mouth, that they believe Lucifer is pure and virtuous and out to help mankind. Does that not sound like the lies in the Garden of Eden? It does to me. So, I mean, that interview speaks for itself about Freemasonry, and hopefully this interview I just played you will be a good companion to what I exposed in yesterday's video. Not me, but the Lord exposed in yesterday's video about Freemasonry, okay? So let's get back to these images here of this, what looks to me like a dog man. Now, you may not think so. You might think this looks like just a Sasquatch or some kind of other odd being standing behind me, but whatever it is, it's standing, gosh, here's my shoulder, here's the foliage here. I mean, I would guesstimate maybe 2 or 3 feet behind me, but it's big, whatever it is. And I did not see it. I'm walking along a path here. There's a trail I'm walking through here. I didn't see that standing there. I'm telling you guys, when I'm walking and I'm just using my selfie stick, I'm not seeing anything with the naked eye. I'm not. This is only being picked up on my films. Now, interestingly, there have been people that have asked me, you can see the eyes more clearly here. Do you see this pupil right here? The muzzle? And another white eye with a pupil. And notice that Scott Carpenter took the same picture with the white eyes and the muzzle. Look at this, again. Right there. This thing's got white eyes and a muzzle, just like you see on camera right now that I'm showing you, that was taken right behind me. Oh my goodness. So when Brother Michael sent this to me, it literally made me feel like disturbed, yes, but also he said to me, strap your seatbelt on. This is an aha moment. Put your seatbelt on, and he wasn't kidding. So let me bring you up another frame of this. Okay, this is run through another frame, and I've got a sour look on my face for some reason, but this is probably the best image yet. This is probably the very next frame. So, a subscriber named Jen asked me to show this again. I think Brother Michael asked me to bring it back up again, so I'm doing it. Again, if you look closely, you can see the muzzle. That does not look like some human nose or even a regular hybrid nose to me. It looks like a muzzle, like what Scott showed you. Look at the size of this eye. It's white. You can see the whites of the eye and the dark pupil right here. And here's the roundness of the head and what looks like a dog nose here and a muzzle. Can you see that now? And this would be the shoulder down here, and the torso area would be down here, of course. Now again, it's in such close proximity to me that it's way too close, in my opinion, way too close. So, I know when I go out there, guys, that I'm probably being watched, and that if, I would not go out if I didn't have the Lord's protection. I don't know how people that are hunters or loggers or people that go camping, if they don't know the Lord and they start capturing these things on their films, how their hearts don't fail them for fear. It just, Because without the power of the Holy Spirit and Jesus' name, you don't stand a chance. You don't. So, look at this again. To me, this has all the features that I showed you in Scott Carpenter's book of a big white eye with a pupil, a muzzle here. It looks like a dog muzzle to me. So I'll leave that up for a minute. So this was in like the very next frame. So to me it looks like Brother Michael was freeze framing like 3 to 4 seconds of these shots, and in each shot some of the angles were slightly better than others, I think. I think this is a very good angle right here. But whatever it was, it's looking right into my camera. Do you see that? It's not looking at me. Okay, I just noticed that. Because subscribers asked me on yesterday's live chat, do you think they know they're being filmed? I do, because notice it's not looking at me. It's looking straight into the camera. See, where's its eyes looking? Straight, not at me, because I'm over here. So if it was looking at me, its head would be turned to the side looking at me. It's looking right at my phone camera. Maybe that's our answer right there, that they know what's going on. All right, let me get another picture up. So I'm putting this back up again at someone's request. I mean, a couple people's request from yesterday. Here's another image. Actually, this is the same image. Pretty close here. I don't like it. Way too close. All right, let's see what else we can find. Let me see if this is, I'll try and move up the line here and just show you briefly. Alright, so this is me walking by. Here, this might be an ear here, an ear over here, the muzzle, and the big white eyes right here. Can you see that? I hope this is clear enough on a TV or a laptop, okay? Again. So, you know, when I watch shows like, and I have watched them before, like Expedition Bigfoot or something, and they're bringing out all this night vision and special equipment and drones, and yet, I'm not saying they've never captured anything anomalous. They have, but guys, I'm walking out there with a cell phone on a selfie stick, and I'm capturing things that you guys have seen every time I go out there. They're a lot better than what's presented on Expedition Bigfoot. And I don't need all this fancy equipment. So, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying that for bragging rights. I'm just saying I see it as the truth. So, and this is just strictly a picture where I focused on the face only, not myself being in the frame. Do you see the size of this white eye? Okay, the dark pupil, and this looks like a muzzle. I mean, it may not be a dog man, okay? It may not, but it resembles it to me. And looks like, again, like I said, the picture down here that Scott Carpenter has of the white eyes and the muzzle-looking face. So, to me, it looks like the same type of creature, but... Alright, I showed that. That's rather disturbing, so I don't want to stay on that for very long. It is disturbing. But, you know, subscriber named Jen asked me to show you guys. Brother Mike said maybe you could show it again, so here it is. And for those of you who missed it, here it is. This is just one of many things that if you backtrack on my videos that you will see that is very strange. So again, here's the Order of the Eastern Star photo that I showed you earlier. The women. This is like the same type of fraternity as Freemasonry, but this is for women. It's called the OES, or Order of the Eastern Star. It is not godly. It is something I encourage you to stay away from, and I'm saying this in love. If you are an Eastern Star member, I'm not saying this to offend you or hurt your feelings or make you unsubscribe. You know, all are welcome here. I just ask that if you disagree, that you do so with respect. That's it. You know, it's like... you know, if I went into your home and I disagreed with you on something, I wouldn't insult you over it. I would just say, okay, well, I lovingly and respectfully disagree, but thanks for sharing that. So that's all I'm asking in return. But, you know, if you're an Eastern Star member or you're a Freemason, I'm not out to offend you. I'm out to expose Ephesians 5:11, darkness. and I feel that the Lord has laid that as a burden on my heart to do so. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to warn you in love to stay away from these fraternities and these organizations. Order of the Eastern Star meeting. Look at all the women. They're dressed wearing emblems on their vestments. Okay? And their hands are positioned all the same. Look at this. I noticed the hand positions in almost every woman standing there, except for the woman holding this pamphlet right here. They're all holding their hands on their laps in exactly the same way. It looks to me. Just like Freemasons have, secret handshakes, they have ways that they'll shake hands, they'll hide their hand in their lapels like this, they'll give the one eye look or whatever. I'm telling you, there's all kinds of ways that people can communicate without using words, that they're part of Freemasonry or the Order of the Eastern Star. So that's one picture of Freemasonry. The female version of Freemasonry, OES, Order of the Eastern Star. And here's another picture, a real picture of an Order of the Eastern Star lady here, wearing the Masonic belt. The Masonic apron, I'm sorry. So even they wear them during their meetings, okay? This is not innocent. If you're a woman and there's other women in a Southern Baptist church you're going to, okay, which is rampant with Freemasonry in my opinion, because I know, because I've dealt with it before from experience, or whatever denomination you go to, stay away from these fraternities, stay away from these secret societies, okay? Stay away. I'm just warning you in love. This is not godly. If you were an OES, a woman of the Eastern Star, could you invite Jesus to go with you? Yes or no? If you were a man who was a Freemason, could you invite Jesus into the lodge with you? If your answer is no to that question I just gave you, then that's your answer about whether you should be involved or not. Alright, so I wanted to show you those pictures. I promised you some information on the Order of the Eastern Star. I've also got videos out in playlists of the Order of the Eastern Star. Okay? Also, if you're interested in yesterday's video, I showed you a picture, an enlarged version of a gentleman that sent a letter to my P.O. box, a previous P.O. box, of his resignation from Masonry. Alright? I might be able to find that again and show that to you. I'm not sure. And these are things I emailed myself for a later time, not today. Okay, I showed you Sister Amanda's pictures and her email today. Let's see if this is it right here. Yes, this is a letter that was mailed to me from an ex-Freemason. I'd say maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So it's been a while. He never really followed up with me, so I'm not quite sure where he is now. But I'll leave this up on the screen. I read it yesterday, paragraph by paragraph out loud. I'm not going to do that again today, but if you look, this gentleman typed this out. It's on a regular piece of printer paper, and he mailed to me, to my previous P.O. Box address, this resignation that he sent to the Freemasonic Lodge that he was involved with. Okay? It is with regret that I submit my resignation from your lodge and from all Masonic bodies. Okay? And he goes on to say why all throughout this letter. I'll leave it up so you can read it. You can freeze frame it, download it. Maybe you can use this letter to plant seeds with others who are part of the OES, the Eastern Star, or that are part of Freemasonry. Okay? He goes on down through here. I'm going to go slowly here so you can read it, or pause it and read it. Okay. And the last couple of paragraphs here were very, very good. When he says here, and what communion does light have with darkness? 2 Corinthians 6:14. I take my Masonic obligations very seriously, and for that reason I realize the cable tow was a powerful yoke. Wow. Which bound me to many Masons who do not worship the true God or his Son Jesus, however sincere they may be in their devotions. I must take the commands of my God more seriously. To remain in Masonry is to compromise my fellowship with Jesus who died for me. Wow. You, my brothers, must decide for yourselves what you will do with the God of Masonry. Okay, we know that's Lucifer. We just heard that in an interview. It's Lucifer. The great architect, they call him. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua 24:15. Thus, I respectfully serve notice of my total and final departure from the Masonic Lodge and all of its orders and degrees. God bless you as you seek His will in this important matter. In Christian love, signed. Okay. So, again, I'll just skim back through this again. So you maybe you want to leave it on your screen and rewatch this video and pull this up and look at it for yourself and read everything this Christian brother and ex-Freemason had to say when he quit the lodge. I'm thankful that the Holy Spirit opened his eyes. I truly am thankful. This is what I'm saying, guys. If even one person comes out, okay, of the Order of the Eastern Star, if one person leaves a Masonic lodge because of seeing the evidence that's been presented on this channel, then praise be to God. You know, Jesus himself said there is more rejoicing in heaven amongst the angels over one person that repents. Wow. And you know, I'm going to tell you now, there are people that truly believe that they are doing something good by being a part of one of these fraternities, like the Eastern Star or the Masonic Lodge. They don't feel like they're doing anything wrong. They're told by people that recruit them into these secret societies that you're doing good for people, good works, good things, but we know the scripture teaches us good works do not save. It is only the sacrificial price that Jesus paid on that cross that saves. That's it. It's not a Masonic lodge and good deeds. It's not in Order of the Eastern Star and good deeds. It's not belonging to the Vatican and doing good deeds or being a Jesuit. None of that can save. And Scripture says, cursed is the one who puts his trust in man. Our only hope is Jesus and what he did for us on that cross. That is our only hope. Excuse me one second. All right, so hopefully I followed through with what I said I would do in today's video. We covered a little bit of the Order of the Eastern Star. I showed you some pictures there of that female version of Freemasonry. We talked about the Masons and Masonic Lodge. I played a video for you about Masonry believing that Lucifer is the light and is out to help mankind. If you missed that interview, please backtrack about 10 minutes from this timestamp. You'll hear it. We've discussed modern Nephilim again. I've shown you some pictures at subscribers' request of what looks like a dog man standing behind me. Now, it may not be. It could be another type of Nephilim altogether. But it looks like what Scott Carpenter captured when he said he ran into a dog man that was watching him, and he captured it on his GoPro behind him. Now, what was interesting is, I left this up here so you could look at this resignation letter a little bit longer. But what is interesting is where this particular being is looking at me. As I'm walking this path, okay, let's zero in a little bit. As I'm walking this path, it doesn't look to me like he's looking over here at me. It almost looks like he's looking directly into my phone's camera. See the eye right here in the pupil, the muzzle. There's another eye over here. It almost looks like it's looking into the camera because I was walking like this with my camera facing to the side with my selfie stick here, and my camera was facing that way. Like, so I was facing this way, okay? My camera was facing to the side. It almost looked like he was looking right here where my camera was. Like he was looking into the lens of the camera, not me. Do you see that? I do. Wow. And as I look at this, it's a little too close. A little too close. So, praise be to the Lord. He protects me, and he commands his angels charge over me. And greater is he who is in me than these things who are in the world. But could these be the beasts of the earth that will be unleashed, that Revelation speaks of, that are going to cause men's hearts to fail them for fear? Yes, there will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars, okay? But right now, these things are in hiding. Now, I agree with Sister Amanda that they are becoming more bold. Even Brother Michael and I, and Brother Isaac and I have discussed this. They seem to be becoming more bold. However, they're not yet revealed to the world. Could it be that these are the beasts of the earth that you're seeing? That, Scott Carpenter captured in his book, all these different images of these things, including this dog man down here, okay? Could it be that these are some of the beings or beasts that are going to be unleashed on the earth right before the Lord returns, and his feet touch the Mount of Olives, and the Mount of Olives splits in two, and he walks through that eastern gate? Could it be that these are the beasts of the earth that will be exposed, that are going to be part of the reason men's hearts fail them for fear? That's just conjecture on my part, but it could be true. So I just wanted to show you, like I said, a request was made of me yesterday by Brother Mike, and a subscriber, sister named Jen, to re-show this picture. So it's not an easy thing to look at. But, it is the Lord God that makes me to lie down and sleep in safety. Okay? It is Him that commands His angels charge over me in all of my ways. Greater is He who is in me than this thing who is in the world. That's how I choose to look at it. So, I showed you that, and I did want to end this video with one more image of some behind the scenes. Actually, I take that back. I found what appeared to be a dogman track. Okay, I forgot to show you this. This is my footprint right here. Okay, it was a snowy day. I was at Piney Run Park. Now, this may be a bear. Okay, this could be a deer print here, or this could be a bear print. But when I saw this footprint at Piney Run Park in the snow, it caught my attention. It does not look like a Sasquatch footprint. It does not, because this is my boot print right here. I kind of wondered if this was just a bear print, because my foot appears to be bigger than this footprint right here. Whatever was walking here had 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 toes, and its foot extended this way. It could have been bear. I don't know. I've never seen bear, though. I have to admit, I've never seen a bear at Piney Run Park. We get coyote warnings here where I live, in Sykesville, Piney Run Park, Freedom Park. We get coyote warnings. So, but this looks, it's either canine or it's a bear. But I don't know that this is Dogman or not, but I figured I'd bring up the picture and ask you guys as the viewers what you think of this particular image. If it is the image of a canine, if it's a footprint from a bear, or is this a footprint of a Dogman? I don't know. I don't know. I just know when I captured it in the snow, it looked strange to me. This looks like a deer print of some kind. Now, last winter when I took this picture, Brother Mike actually said to me, even before that Dogman picture I just showed you showed up a few days ago on my films, just a few days ago, it was standing right behind me as I showed you. This past winter is when this was taken. And here's my boot mark. I deliberately put a boot mark next to it in the snow and took a picture of this. Even back then, a year ago, Brother Mike said to me, what if that's a Dogman print? And at the time, I was partially convinced, but now I'm beginning to wonder, is it? Because of what I captured standing behind me just 3 days ago that looked like a Dogman to me. It's what I just showed you. So here's this is either a bear print. However, another thing, bear usually hibernate in the wintertime, right? So again, Piney Run Park is not known for black bear. Okay, I will tell you that. Also, even if it was a black bear, would it be hibernating? Because it's wintertime, it would be hibernating, correct? So you see how I get deep into things? I really try and vet things and investigate. So could this be canine then? So I deduced it either to being a bear print, maybe a juvenile bear print, but then again, wouldn't they be in hibernation? Because it's winter, it's snowy. Or is this a canine print? So I just figured I'd bring that up and show you that I captured this a few months ago with snow on the ground at Piney Run Park. And of course, this is what was captured just like 3 days ago. Okay? Like 3 days ago. Right here. Muzzle, big white eye, dark pupil. Here's the neck, shoulders. I don't know. Could these be ears up here? I'm not sure. But it looks like, this looks like a muzzle to me. It just does, you know? So again, I know I've done it before, but if you're just joining the live chat, it looks very similar to what Scott Carpenter found right here. With the big white eyes, the muzzle. It just looks similar to me. That's all. So I wanted to show you that footprint that I found in the snow last winter, and then show you this again, okay? Is there a correlation between the two? I don't know. All I know is that bear usually hibernate in the wintertime, and I don't remember, after all the years I've been to Piney Run Park, seeing notices up from the park rangers that there's been black bear sighted or anything like that. I go there often enough where I would see the notices like nailed into a tree or something, or when I enter the park gate, they would warn people, or there'd be a notice up. I have not seen that. So, but what Piney Run Park does do is they have notices put up for Sasquatch festivals in the spring and the fall. And they'll even have notices up about it. And I talked to the gate attendant 3 days ago and asked him, are these sightings here quite frequent? And he said there are park rangers, okay, that have had sightings of these things, these beings out there. He says that's why we do the festival, the hybrid Sasquatch festival, every spring and every fall. I have a pamphlet for it. I think I took a picture of it. I can show you it. Let me see if I still have it on here. The pamphlet that Piney Run Park hands out for these events. Here, let me see. I don't know. Let me see if I have it on here. I may have it on here. I'm not sure. Oh, this is another picture of the Order of the Eastern Star I wanted to show you that I forgot to email myself. But do you see these two women here? They're wearing Shriner hats, okay? But they are Order of the Eastern Star, and they're wearing Shriner hats. Do you see what I'm saying? And when I looked up, yeah, she's called the Grand Matron. Masonic, it even says Masonic on her hat with the Order of the Eastern Star emblem on her Shriner hat. So if you look close enough, you can see the Order of the Eastern Star there, and she has on her lapel here it says matron, like a master matron. But these are OES women, Eastern Star fraternity, and they wear hats just like Masons do. So, I just wanted to show you that picture. That's one that I forgot to blow up on the big screen and email to myself. Okay. All right. I found. Let me mail this to myself because I wanted to bring it up on the big screen and show you. Let me see if I can send it real quick and see if it'll show up. Show up here on my computer. Of what Piney Run Park. I'll leave it up on my phone in case it doesn't come through, but let me see if this comes through. No. Anything's from Wise. Okay, this didn't come through. So let me go ahead and show you on my phone. This says Hide and Seek with Sasquatch. Thursday, January 20th from 3 to 4 p.m. Piney Run Park. All ages, registration, $7 in county and out, and it shows a picture of a Sasquatch. Now this is one of the pamphlets that's hanging at the gate when you come in the spring and the fall. And it lists Piney Run Park as one of the places. Let me see if you can see that. It's kind of hard to get it closer. See if I can blow it up a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to blow up the Piney Run Park area more. Can you read that? This says Piney Run Park on there. Sasquatch Hide and Seek, and right in this area here it will say Piney Run Park. That's where I go. And then over here you've got, the picture of the Sasquatch. And here's the entire brochure. So when you go into Piney Run Park and you see this hanging at the gate in the spring and the fall, people are seeing something, right? Otherwise, why would Piney Run Park hold this 2 times a year every year? Why? And of course, with the pictures you've seen me show you, okay, of the beings that I have presented to you on this channel, I mean, no wonder they put up a notice like that. And the gate attendant told me that they did see, the park rangers have seen things, and they've talked to people that have seen things. So that's why I'm hoping, if the Lord permits, that I can get out there during one of those festivals and actually interview some people, whether on camera or off, and just interview them. I think it'll be interesting. Now, before I end this video, I want to show you a couple more behind-the-scenes photos. Brother Mike, before I do, I just want to say I did get the picture you sent me of yourself and your wife. Okay? I thank you for sharing it. I won't share it with the channel because that's personal, unless you give me permission to. But I got the picture, and I want to thank you. It's nice to see a face behind the words, because when I'm chatting with you on the live chat, it's nice to see who I'm talking to. Your wife looks lovely, so thank you, Brother Mike, for sending me that personal picture. I got it late last night. I got it. Thank you. So this is a picture of my husband and I at a theater, because many of you have said you wanted to see my husband and what he looks like. This was a picture we took at a theater. It's called Sight and Sound Theater, where Christian plays are put on in Pennsylvania. And this was an image that someone took of us standing outside the theater. So there we are. And this, again, behind us is Sight and Sound Theater. We've seen plays based on Noah, David and Goliath, Joshua. You name it, we've seen it. We've seen a play it just said Jesus, his life. So, and the acting and the production's very good. So if you ever get a chance to go to Pennsylvania, I think it's not far from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to the Sight and Sound Theater, you won't be disappointed. They have good food there. The acting's great. The props are good. So this is where we are here outside of Sight and Sound Theater, getting ready to go in and see a play. Okay? So just figured I'd show you another behind-the-scenes photo of myself and my husband and us enjoying this theater together. Okay? So I'll end it there. And let me see, is there anything else I'm missing? Order of Eastern Star, sent you pictures of. Now, this is an article that I'll open this up real quick, that I'm going to show, that I'm going to be making a video on. Camping, be careful. This is something that I'm not going to get into today because the video's going on quite a while. But I'm going to do another video on this, I believe. I hope this opens up. But this is a young man talking about a huge Bigfoot caught on a trail camera. Not there. I'm sorry. That's fake. But if I could, let me see. I don't know if I can turn the volume up, but I'll play it for you. A gentleman here, what this man is saying, this gentleman here said that a trail camera was set up right behind this man's tent, and that he captured this being walking by, as you can see here, walking by, checking out. See how he stays behind the foliage? Blends right in. Was checking out this man's tent. So, stands there for a minute, it's not moving. That's why they're so hard to capture. Like when you're taking trail walks, they just stand there and don't move behind the foliage. Then he just kind of disappears into the foliage. But the man giving this testimony said he set the trail cam up to face this way, watching his tent while he was gone. I think he was looking for deer, he was looking for game, okay? I think he's a hunter. And that as soon as he looked at this trail cam image, he said he packed up his gear the same day and left. So, I can't vouch for the authenticity of this, okay? I can't. I'm going on someone else's YouTube presentation, hoping they're being truthful. I can only vouch for the pictures I sent that I put up of my own trail walks, okay? The images that I've captured or that Brother Mike has seen of my own when I've been to Piney Run Park and Freedom Park, okay? I can only vouch for what I've experienced and shown you. I cannot say whether this is true or not, but what I notice here is that, see how it blends in right here so well and just stands there watching. Okay, that's fake. That's fake. But this one here, this one particular YouTube channel says is real, and that this was taken before AI existed. This young man here says that. A huge Bigfoot was caught on a trail camera in a remote campsite in Canada. The tent stalker HD clear footage of a Sasquatch, and he said the gentleman that had the trail camera set up came back several hours later to his tent, took his trail cam down, and saw this footage, packed his tent up that day, and left as fast as he could. Got out of there. Now, see how he blends in without even moving? You can't even see it. Like, if he's just standing there, they're very good with hiding behind foliage and not being seen. So, like, when that image of that being was standing behind me, could it have been something like this, where it was just standing there? Like, if I just freeze frame this right here, you can't really see anything. They know how to blend in very well. Okay, so I figured I'd show you that. That's just a, again, this is purported to be real by this YouTuber and the gentleman that set up the trail cam to capture this, but I cannot personally vouch for it, okay? But what I can vouch for are the pictures that I have taken and that Brother Mike has noticed, okay? So let me get off of that. Okay, so I figured I'd show you that. I've got other things here that I can show you that talk about the DNA studies and things like that. Again, I showed you a subscriber named Amanda who showed us the anomalies. I showed the anomaly picture she sent me in the beginning of this video and the middle of this video. We discussed the Freemason resignation letter. We discussed the Order of the Eastern Star. So hopefully you've seen, and I gave you a personal picture of my husband and I at Sight and Sound Theater. So hopefully you've learned something today, more about Freemasonry, the Order of the Eastern Star, the videos that were played for you. Possibly, hopefully you've learned more about these hybrid beings that are being seen when I go on my trail walks that were living like in the days of Noah. So I hope that did that for you. Let me see here if I've missed anything. Yeah. Okay, I'll end with this particular picture here. I used this at the beginning of yesterday's video, I believe. So let me end it with this video, with this particular picture, I'm sorry. This is from Pfizer. And I want you to look at the sun symbol here with the all-seeing eye. Let's zoom in. It says here, this plaque bearing what is believed to be the oldest known symbol to pharmacy is awarded to, whatever this is here, it's kind of, etched out. So, in recognition of having filled, I guess, 1 million prescriptions, Pfizer Laboratories, Pfizer Inc., a company, right here, Pfizer, and it says this plaque is showing what is believed to be the oldest known symbol to pharmacy. It was awarded. And here it is. Okay? So, ending there. I found that particular image very interesting. How so much of the world today, whether it's the layout of Washington, D.C., the layout of the Vatican, pharmacies and things like that, it seems like Freemasonry and their symbols, they're all connected all throughout the world. That's why I don't understand how anyone can attend a church and claim to be a born-again Christian and be an Order of the Eastern Star or a Freemason. I'm not saying that to hurt anyone or insult you. I just don't see how the dark and the light can have fellowship. I don't. And I'm concerned enough to come forward with the truth and beg you guys to come out of it, or just have nothing to do with it altogether, please. So I'll end with this right here, with this particular Pfizer image here, saying that this is one of the oldest known images associated with pharmacy. And I'll end it here. Okay, here's my button I'm looking for. I've got other videos for later this week that we're going to be discussing other topics, the DNA of these hybrids. I've got other pictures that I want to share with you. So hopefully you look forward to that later in the week. Thank you for tuning in this evening. I'm going to try and set this live chat for about, I'd say 7:30 this evening, Eastern Standard Time, EDT. So I'm on the East Coast of the U.S., so I'm going to do it around 7:30. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget. 7:30 PM EDT time. Video is recorded, chat is live. I hope to see you there. I've always enjoyed our fellowship when we get into the live chats, okay? Have a blessed day in the Lord. Have a good evening. And Lord willing, more to come soon.